right, what is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode number 22 of the Bards of Gaming podcast, where this week I'm going to be sitting down with another really good buddy of mine, who this is his first time on the show, my buddy Ben. You're all going to hear from him in a little bit, but before we get into the episode, we're going to be covering Tribes of Midgard, which, to be honest with you, I don't really know what this game is. I don't know if it was supposed to be a straight up indie title or if it was supposed to be some AA release, but you'll hear all about my thoughts on this game very shortly. It's not, if you like this game, get ready. But yeah, so before we get into the episode, I'm going to keep this intro nice and short and sweet because today is my birthday and I don't feel like recording a long episode, as well as the fact that I'm very tired as per usual and I have a level to build in Unreal Engine. So, what I've been playing lately is actually Euro Truck Driving Simulator 2. That's kind of been my passive enjoyment right now. I'm playing with a couple of buddies of mine, including the buddy who you're going to hear in this episode. And we've been having a great time with that. Euro Truck Driving Simulator 2 is fantastic, even on a mouse and keyboard. But I did recently just pick up the Logitech G923, which I'll say it's a really good wheel. I like it a lot. I know it's a really great bang for your buck if you want to get into like sim racers and stuff like that. The G923 is really, really great. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Can't seem to get it to work with Assetto Corsa, but I'll figure it out. Aside from that, I've kind of put some of the other games on the back burner at the moment because I'm so busy with school, but Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going swell. Still loving that. And that's kind of it. Not really playing a whole lot else at the moment, but I am getting ready to do a couple of other episodes coming up, including what I've mentioned recently on my Instagram, which if you do not follow me on Instagram, you can find me over there at The Bards of Gaming, or you can find me on Twitter or X at 2Bards of Gaming with the number 2, and you can find links to all my socials as well as my email if you want to reach out to me that way, at thebardsofgamingpodcast.com. So yeah, that's really it. I don't really have a lot to say this week. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a whole lot of feedback regarding Tribes of Midgard. They did like my post on Twitter about me covering this game, so I'm a little nervous if they listen to this episode. And if you want to know why, listen to the rest of this episode. So yeah, that being said, I will see you guys in the episode. Thanks for hanging out. What is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode number 22 of the Bards of Gaming podcast. I don't know, whatever number I said in the intro. Today we are joined with my good buddy Ben, who is my resident survival game multiplayer buddy. Like, we play every survival game together. Ben, how you doing?
What's going on?
Not too much. Tired as fuck. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm exhausted. But that's the work life of blue collar men.
That's it. That plus this 95 degree plus heat wave.
Oof.
Life feels amazing.
It's stifling.
But we're not here to talk about the weather. We are going to talk about Tribes of Midgard, which I have mixed feelings on. I'm excited to hear your feelings on it.
I'd say it's debatable whether they're mixed. I definitely know where I stand with it.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get into talking about everything we like and dislike about the game, and then give it a rating at the end as usual, because I know this is your first time on the show. Everybody, let's welcome Ben with open arms. But you have listened to the show before, and which, thank you. But you and I were playing this a little bit together at first, so I guess it's not really necessary to ask how'd you find this game, but how'd you find this game?
How did I find this game, Rob?
I think I found it on Steam for like $6 and was like, dude, get this.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. It was a good sale, and I think it was definitely a good purchase because it wasn't very expensive. Full price, I don't believe. I think it was still like under $30 or under $40 at least. So it was pretty reasonable. What was it, like $20, 20 something full price, 25?
Did you pay full price?
No. I'm just for retail.
Oh, I think it's 20.
Yeah, so that's
full
not
price,
not
which
too bad.
No, and that's actually something that I have listed in my dislikes of all things, because I had heard, and I mean, I guess I'll just jump straight into things, starting with the dislikes, but Just to, I mean, I'm gonna give you the ball in a second, but just to say this, I heard that this game released originally for $50,
Really interesting.
which I don't know. I just looked that up just before we started recording, and I couldn't see anything that said that. So I think it released at $20, which is perfect because if this game released at $50, that's way too much.
Well,
This is not a $50 game.
at the time, I guess it was released, I think, in 2021. It was a few years ago, and
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like every game was selling for at least $70 minimum. Full tilt retail price when it came out. So,
Yeah.
and that's without
Yeah, but
pre-purchasing.
this isn't that big of a game. I mean,
Right.
like I can understand that for like a Call of Duty or a AAA title. This is just like an indie game.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
it's
got
a
its
fun
content. It's
game.
got its content.
It does, but I mean,
It's
I
got a
don't
good
know.
hand.
I don't know if it's just what's
It's
that?
got a good handful to it.
It does, and I don't know if it's just because of the way I play things, but like I was done with it too fast.
Yeah, well, naturally, I mean, it's a very easily pick up and carry on kind of game. You don't have to sit and try to remember where you left off. You just you look around your inventory, you see your guy's gear, and you think, all right, I'm just gonna run into battle. You go teleport somewhere, you run somewhere, you kill some stuff.
That's true.
It's a good looter shooter,
Um,
in my opinion, without the guns.
yeah, and I mean, like as a games as a service, like a live service game, because they're adding like seasons of content and stuff like that, which for this game I don't see it as necessary.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
I think with this game, I mean, I'm gonna come straight out of the gate with some negative feedback on this game. I think that they're trying to push something that it shouldn't be, but I think that it's because in the last 5 years, games as a service has become like the big thing to do, which thankfully now in 2024 it's dying off.
Yeah, there was a big phase of the community word affecting so much more than it should have in the development and the pricing of everything. It's kind
Yeah.
of wild, actually, like how much they paid attention to it. But I guess between AI and influencers, how could you not really?
Yeah. I mean, this game, it's a fun game. I do like this game, and I'll be nice about it in a little bit. But like, I just think that as a live service title and trying to update, new seasons of content, it's unnecessary for this title.
Mhm.
I think that they would have been better off making a solid,
One and done kind of thing.
yeah, like fill it with a bunch of solid content, make it available for 1 to 4 players,
Hmm.
and release it because they do have a fantastic gameplay loop, in my opinion. I think it's fun.
I don't see it as too bad because it reminds me a little bit of the survival aspect of it. Reminds me of Valheim, where when
Yeah,
you eat a food or some kind of berry or meat, you get a specific effect from that, uh,
yeah,
and it's really useful. Or you could save it and make potions later on for healing and such. Uh, but I like the part most where you can, off the topic of downing it, because it does have some downsides that I'll get to, but the
yeah.
one of the good sides is that you don't have to really choose a class. You can kind of get the archery, and the melee, plus the all the skills associated with those.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't have to like create a build in the beginning and then you're dedicated to that build, and then if you wanted to make a new one, you have to start over. Like I
Exactly.
do like that.
It's a little
Um,
more open, lack of commitment, but it's open and it allows you to play it easily at that point.
yeah. I will say this though, on the same subject of your character build and stuff like that, bringing it back to the dislikes, I will say I thought due to the live service game aspect of it, a lot of the best content is straight up locked behind a paywall,
Okay. Yeah, I can
which I think is bullshit.
now. Is there all of that? But I guess it's kind of blueprints for the weapons upgrades. Is that purely behind a cash influence, or can you get them
No,
currency in game?
You can get it in game. It's by the gold horns.
Okay.
You get it. You get it from the gold horns. So by killing bosses and doing challenges and stuff like that,
Right.
which is fun because it does give the game some replayability, and I do like that the bosses do respawn
Yeah.
and they level up, so it becomes an increasingly like it's never just a cakewalk.
Hmm. You can go
But
back and kind of farm for XP or whatever.
yeah, and every time you go back to the boss once they respawn, the game makes it a little bit more difficult for you.
Hmm.
But
Actually, I didn't know that. That's that makes a
oh
lot of
really?
sense now. Looking back.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go back and kill like any of the four mini bosses or any of the four major bosses, each time you go back, it says the boss's level next to their name.
Okay. Wow.
So you'll see that they're not like. It's funny because I don't think that the combat actually gets any more difficult. I think that they just have more HP. I could be wrong,
Well, I
but I
mean,
went back and killed bosses a bunch of times, and I didn't really notice any challenge.
that sounds more difficult in itself, but yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
add mechanics or anything like that.
which speaking of the bosses difficulty levels, like I will say there's one thing that I didn't like about the game is so for those of you who don't know who haven't played the game, there are four mini bosses in these arenas that are scattered throughout the procedurally generated world, and so everybody who plays the game has a different world, but you'll all have the same bosses. So as you explore the world and uncover different biomes, you will find these arenas that have these larger than life, what do you call them? Titans, I
I would
guess.
say Titans. That's a
Boss
good word.
fights. Yeah, like there's one that's like a giant frost giant Titan sort of thing, and they're fun. They're actually really cool, like pretty cinematic boss fights for the most
You
part.
could call them
Um,
demigods. I believe they're all based off of loosely Norse mythology, right?
oh yeah, it's definitely Norse mythology with Midgard, but it's very Valheim, esque,
Yeah.
but it's all in the same lore. But like, there's four of those mini bosses, and then later on in the game, there's four like gates, I guess you find portals that bring you to the big bosses of the world. Uh, I noticed that as I went along killing each boss, they got easier.
Okay. So there is
Like,
a curve.
yeah, but it's not an upward difficulty curve. Like by the time I got to the final boss of the entire game, dude, I was like, I could do it with my eyes closed. I'm serious. Like it was so like the first big boss that I came across, which was the dog, um, that kicked my ass. I had to go back and fight that a few times. Like I'll be honest, that one was not easy, but I found a way to cheese it and got through it because I did it single player.
Right.
But then by the time I got to the final boss, granted I was level max whatever, but
Prepared.
it was so easy.
Yeah.
What's that?
Very prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, like but it was just so easy.
Well,
Like you see the attack patterns and you're like, okay, when it starts to go like this, I just step over to here and then I just keep whacking him. Like it was not a hard fight.
and see the challenge to that then would be the survival aspect of it, getting all of the resources to get the gear to be able to have an easy time with it. Because I was not having such an easy time as you were apparently. I was a
I
little
mean,
under leveled for it, I think.
did you make it to the end?
We finished the four medium bosses, or you
Oh,
know,
okay.
it's like the demi bosses to the last ones.
Yeah. I
And
know
those are
that
pretty tough.
yeah, when in the beginning they are but like it's funny like usually I cover indie games like this on my own, but I was like, oh, you know what? I have a few friends that played it, and I've been wanting to get you on the show, so I kind of just was
Absolutely.
like, hey, want to help me out last minute? But I mean, there's a handful of other games that I definitely want to cover with you, like Icarus and probably Minecraft. I'll have you on.
I wouldn't count out Minecraft. Minecraft is a fantastic game, and it's been my favorite since probably alpha. Everybody has their breaks and their phases.
Oh yeah, and I apologize for anybody if you just heard a motorcycle going by in the background outside my house. That's nothing I can do about that.
Get one yourself.
No, no. But I guess to get back on track for Tribes of Midgard, though, do you have anything else that you don't really care for about this game?
On the top of my head, I didn't like the fact that when you're on an island and one of the bosses that you unlock, it'll show you on the map where they are, and they'll be across a body of water sometimes. I
Hmm.
don't like the fact that you can't just land anywhere. You can't build down to the sea level. So you
Oh,
have to make a boat, and sometimes you have to go on around an entire continent just to get on the continent. Um,
yeah, it's really annoying.
and it kind of pissed me off that I've died to sea serpents a couple times, even like.
Ugh.
But
Dude,
you know,
I'm gonna give you that absolutely, and I will say one of the things I wrote down here is the unkillable sea serpents.
yes, they should be killable.
They should be.
Ah,
They're only there. I guarantee, from a game design standpoint, they are only there to keep the player moving.
it's a barricade. Yeah, they don't want you sitting in the sea.
Exactly. So like that, because if you sit in the sea, that's just a safe point. You just hang out there all day. But
Hmm.
it also adds like a little bit of so that you're not just going on long, boring boat rides. You have to maneuver a little bit. But it's like, dude, come on, make them killable, make it fun. Because when you have multiple players too, it's like you have one guy driving and three guys just fucking sitting there.
Well, actually, I think our boats they're just two seaters. So yeah, you could have one person archering while somebody is driving the boat, and
Yeah,
the fact that you can't kill them doing that is upsetting.
it's so annoying,
We tried a
especially
couple
when like they
times,
can
but
kill you so easily.
they do quite a bit of damage. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And you have to cross the sea. I mean, for me at least, it's all randomly generated. But for me, it was the second medium boss, so we had to
Oh,
immediately.
really?
Yeah, and we didn't have boats or anything. Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
That's cool. The I will say this though, they did implement one of the best things that they could have, which was the being able to make a quick travel point anywhere. That was a lifesaver.
Almost anywhere, but yeah, it's a very good time saver,
Yeah. Because I
especially
mean,
with the lack of food slots that they gave you. I think it was four.
oh really?
Yeah, it's I think it's four food slots, so you can have like potions in one slot and then a meat or something in the other. You could stack up on food, but it's really not that much. You can only have like 5 items times four
Hmm.
slots, so like 20.
Oh yeah, it's been like what, a month or two since I actually played the game. I wanted to jump in it and play it for a little bit before I recorded, but I just didn't have time. But I remember the important key shit, and I took notes.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I gotta say though, there is one thing about the bosses that was kind of silly. If you leave the arena, which I don't know if I don't remember if it traps you in there or not. I don't think it does. I think you can
I don't
just
think it
leave the
does.
arena at any point,
Yeah,
which is a little cheesy, but I feel like they should have made it a little more of a challenge. You should be locked in there,
yeah.
and especially with like four people. I mean, with one person, it might have been a little bit of a challenge. You said it was a little easy, but with three people, it was still a little bit of a challenge for us. So I think the second time around, we got like all three of them in one shot. The first time we died, and then we came back and redeemed ourselves.
Oh, nice. And I only say that they got easy at the end.
Oh, okay. That
I found I found the mid bosses to be an actual challenge, especially at the level that I was taking them at.
mhm.
But like once you get to the last like three bosses, like the big bosses, dude, like you're so high leveled, you have the best shit. Depending on how you play, like I actually took the time to upgrade my equipment and whatever. But I'm like, they were not a challenge. But the first four, yeah, they were. Especially the last one.
Oh,
That one was kind of
you
tricky.
reminded me about an issue that I had with it. And I didn't realize this at first. We set up a home base, right? And then we had all
Yeah,
of our the crafting stations. We had all the crafting
yeah.
stations in the home base, but it was in the bad space and it wasn't reaching one of the chests or something like that. So like we couldn't have the resources um, access them from the crafting tables. And when I
Hmm.
went to break them, it destroyed like half the resources. but it doesn't say it
And,
anywhere.
oh, jeez.
Yeah, so we lost like half the resources, and it was like level 3 and 4 weapon forge, and it was tough stuff to get at the time. So it was such a setback. But yeah,
That
a
sucks.
little bit of a warning would have been nice.
Yeah, that definitely should have had a box come up above it. Like, are you sure you want to take this last hit?
Yeah, or even just say 50% refund. Like well,
Something.
we figured it out afterwards.
Yeah. And speaking about the building mechanic, like I wrote it in here as a dislike for the most part.
It's a little
I
wild.
liked it is. I did like how, especially, during the beginning of the game, like you could build stairs up to levels that you couldn't access or whatever. Like
Mm.
you did it was required at certain points in the game,
Right.
but for the purpose of building a home base, I found it more or less totally pointless. Because
With the fact that you couldn't spin the camera unless you're in build mode, I agree.
yeah, like I didn't really use it at all for the purpose of building a home base. Like they give you so many assets and stuff that like just I didn't bother with at all because it's not that kind of game.
It's more of a luxury if you wanted to build a home base, I think. It
Yeah,
gives you
and I
the
mean
option.
I saw what you guys were doing on Discord the one day when I was watching you. I thought that was pretty cool, but at the same time, I just kept sitting there and I'm like,
It just doesn't do it.
it's just not that kind of game, and
It's not
that's something.
Minecraft, it's not Valheim, like these builder games, it doesn't fit a builder game status. It's an ARPG definitely with a bit of survival in it.
Yeah, it's like Hades kind of. What fucking games have I played lately? Like Dismantle. I don't know if anybody knows that one, but
Mhm.
um, it's just an ARPG. I really think that this game would have done better if they had stopped trying to cast such a wide net of who to please
Mm.
because it's like they just sat at a table and said all of the different features and game features that have been hitting the marks at that time and just threw it all in,
Yeah.
kind of half baked.
Yep.
Because like it doesn't need to be a live surface game. It doesn't need to be a building mechanic sort of game. It doesn't need to be a lot of things that it is.
Yep.
It could have been a really solid hack and slash ARPG good time with a great story.
It didn't need to be a survival-esque game because
Not
that bugged me a little bit when I first started playing.
Yeah, like it didn't need that feature. It felt like more of a nuisance than it was. As you know, you and I play a fucking lot of survival
Oh
games
yeah.
and we love them.
Oh, they're great.
But yeah, and we love the ones that are really simulation-esque like DayZ and stuff like that. But this game just did not need to do that.
No. It was very smooth as is. It didn't need to stop you in your tracks
Yeah.
to pick up a tree or a gemstone that you just found. Or no, I
Yeah,
definitely think that's a valid point.
yeah, and I thought that there were so many things that this game was trying to do, and like the old saying goes, like when you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. And I know that when this game released, it got very mixed reviews. I mean, it went completely under the radar for me for a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah. Until it went on sale, and understandably.
Yeah, I saw it for $6, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And I'll be honest, for $6, I had a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoyed it. I played it to the end. It was not too hard, not too easy. It was fun.
Enjoyable. Yeah. I believe I had
Yeah.
about, I don't know, 12 hours, 16 hours, something like
I
that.
think I beat it in about 16.
Yeah.
16 to 20.
So that's reasonable. And I mean, you were pushing pretty hard for it too. So,
Yeah, I was just flying through it like
I
I
mean,
do,
that's a
but
decent bit of gameplay loop time, realistically.
oh yeah, and dude, if you compare it to like Dismantle, which is another indie game kind of like this that I've been playing or I was playing, I can't beat that one. Like
Really?
I hit a wall with dude, I put in like 45 hours.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's
And
not
I'm like,
much
dude,
compared to other games, but yeah, for that, that's a new game. So,
it's too much for what that game is. And I mean, I'm not going to make this podcast about Dismantle. I'll make another episode about that alone, but like for what that game is, it does not need to be anywhere close to 45 hours long.
no.
Not even a little bit. That's ridiculous. But anyway, back to Tribes of Midgard. Like I thought that this game was it would have done better, like I said, just as like an ARPG hack and slash game. And had they stuck to the script with that and really focused more on the combat and
Hmm.
stuff like that, which this game did very well.
It had reminiscence of or remnants, I guess you could say, uh, of Diablo, for me
Yeah,
at least.
I could see that.
And
Like it's I
that's
saw a lot of
probably
Hades in it too.
maybe part of the reason why I was, like very drawn to it at first, because
Yeah.
of the ARPG aspect of it. Kind of, it's a third person, the bird eye view. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know, can't stay away from those games. It seems I really like third eye or third person view.
They're fun, and I think that this game really would have benefited from more focus on their combat and more weapon variety. Because as I
Yeah,
wrote in my dislikes, I don't think they had enough weapon variety.
absolutely not. I mean, as long as it wasn't a sword, like they had plenty of sword differentiations, but
Kinda.
they, they didn't have much assortment of different bows. You know what I mean? There was no crossbows, I don't think. Um,
Yeah. Well, like they had like a couple of heavy weapons. They had, like I think they had a hammer, an axe, a sword. But even when you look at those different types of weapons, there's still only like what, three or four variations of those
yeah,
types of weapons, and then those variations just level up. So like in total in the whole game, you only have like 16 to 20 weapons,
different weapon. Yeah, yeah.
which I mean sounds kind of like a lot, but it when you play it, it's really not.
I
You kind
mean,
of
once you upgrade your weapon forge, you realize that the bottom is the strongest, and you just go straight for that lowest one. You skip all the
yeah,
ones in between if you can help it.
exactly. And like sure, yeah, some bosses have, weaknesses to different things, but it's like if you just go with the void weapons, like that just kicks ass. It's just that's all you need. So it's
Now,
like you could. What's up?
I didn't know about the weaknesses necessarily. Maybe that's why I
Well,
was having a hard time.
I mean, like you got the Ice Titan, and then you got fire weapons. It's like put two and two together, you just kind of
Crap.
give it a shot. But
That would have made sense, yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, maybe that's why I cakewalked it a little bit. But it's just I don't know. It didn't it suffered from not enough in some aspects, but in
Yeah.
other ways, it suffered from too much.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't a good balance of both, fulfilling enough, but
Yeah.
it definitely traps you in there for a little bit at least.
Oh yeah, and we'll let me see here. I have like a couple other things I just want to touch on in dislikes before we get on to because there are actually quite a few things I do like about this game,
Mhm.
and I don't want to just shit on it the entire time. But the last thing, or one of the last things that I'll really say was about dislikes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read right in front of me. Uh, Pointlessly live service, got that. Oh, the ending, which I guess you didn't
Ooh,
see, but
no.
I'm not gonna spoil it. But I will say I didn't like that this game actually ends on a major cliffhanger.
Really?
Yeah, it has so this is it's going to lose some points for this for me because
Okay.
the game you don't really know unless you really pay attention. You don't really know what your goal is the whole time. At least I didn't. I was kind of just like, "Oh, fun gameplay loop. Let's just go." And then once I got towards the end of the game, it became more apparent, oh, there's actually a story to this. And then I got to the ending, there was a twist, and then there was a cliffhanger, and it basically said more or less, stay tuned for more. And I'm like, that's why it's a live service game.
Okay. So they leave
So
it open
because
ended.
they leave it open ended because I guess they intended to add more content,
Right. Okay.
but
So
that's why I'm saying like I wish they had just wrapped it up and ended it
yeah, kind of gave
and come
closure
out.
of a storyline.
Yeah, because once I'm done with this game, I'm not coming back. This game did not have enough in it to keep me coming back.
Right. You mean for multiple occurrence kind of thing, like Minecraft would, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'll revisit. I don't revisit a lot of story heavy games. That's just I don't do it. I've never really have. Like
It's
I've
like a
only ever
movie.
played through The Last of Us once. Yeah, I don't watch movies more than once a lot of the time.
Right.
And people are probably gonna fucking rip me apart for saying that I only played The Last of Us once, but yeah, it's like
I only watched
if
it
this
once. So I hope that gives consolation.
that's it's a great show. I
No,
thought
it
they did a
is.
great job.
Oh, no, no, no. I watched gameplay of it through the whole. I didn't have a
Oh,
PlayStation,
oh, oh.
so I had to play it through watching it,
Oh, gotcha.
and it was
It's a great
fantastic.
game.
It was fantastic story. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, this game just does not have enough on its plate to keep me coming back. Like if I got a notification tomorrow that like, oh hey, Tribes of Midgard just released, the next content pack and you can have it for $10, I'd say, well, that's $10 they're not going to get from me because I just don't care enough at this point. I
unless
mean,
they
like
release
if
about triple the content that's currently in it, then that might be a deal saver.
yeah, but it's like I don't want more. I want better and denser, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yes, more fulfilling, more immersive.
Yeah. Like I don't need more of the same. I don't need to do more, 10 more hours of grinding to gather materials and waiting for
Yes.
bosses to respawn so that I can go get certain materials. It's like I just want to be able to continuously play, have my peaks and valleys of fulfillment and then go on with my day. But
I think
I'm done shitting on this game. Do you have anything else?
I was gonna just say as a last note, I think the camera perspective has a major role in a game like this because although they did have the rotating camera option in the building menu, it wasn't
Mhm.
accessible in combat. It wasn't accessible on
Mm.
the go while you're walking. You had to stop, hit a button, and turn your camera 45 degrees or something like that. It's just if they had maybe an elevation leverage kind of thing to where you can turn
Yeah.
it down towards your player on a horizontal field instead of like a weird angle bird's eye view, it might have done a lot better.
I agree with that. And wasn't there like a rune you could get or something that
To
could
zoom you out
expand?
a little bit
Yeah.
farther, yeah, not
Yet
much.
not much.
Maybe another 5%.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's
Very
I did
minimal.
I did like the runes though. I thought that was a decent
Oh, they were great.
addition.
They had
Yeah.
they had
But
wonderful skill sets and like increased effectiveness, and I like that.
yeah. I think we should definitely move on to what we actually like about the game because people that have liked this game and listened to it up to this point are probably
Oh,
screaming at their phones.
furious. Yes.
Either that or they agree wholeheartedly with what we've said. Um, but I'm gonna hand the mic to you. What do you like about this game? What's like the first thing that really stands out to you?
So it's got a calm nature about it. It's not too intense. Even if you go into battle right off the bat, you get out of the tutorial, the little intro that they have, and you go right out to battle. You're not gonna feel overwhelmed necessarily
Hmm.
because you only have was it like a light and a heavy attack, and then maybe a special, or
Yeah.
it's just a light attack actually, and then you switch to your bow. So you're either doing melee or range one button combat, I believe, um,
Hmm.
depending on what you're playing on. And it's not too frightening. A lot of people are like scared to play an ARPG like Diablo, for instance, because it's not as forgiving, I guess.
Yeah. They kind of just throw you in the deep end real quick.
Yeah, you can go out and die within an instant if you don't know what you're doing. And this
Yeah.
game is a little more forgiving, so I definitely appreciate that
Definitely.
that aspect of it.
Yeah.
What
I
was
will say
what was
that.
one of your favorite parts of the gameplay, at least?
Well, the first thing that I wrote in my list of likes was word for word fun and engaging gameplay slash combat because I really did think that straight off the bat it was. I mean, I played on a mouse and keyboard,
Mhm.
but I imagine it's also very fun with a controller. But it was very intuitive. It was very responsive. There wasn't a lot of bullshit, I should say. Like Like when you're trying to dodge an enemy, like you dodge. It's not there's no real,
There's no
frame
delay.
lag. There's nothing that really makes you scream at the controller
Hmm.
saying like what the fuck work. Like
Like a
it's pretty
dead
good.
zone
It's
for a key type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's pretty solid gameplay. The controls are tight and it feels good running around the map and traversing the map and fighting enemies. It's a good time. And with the amount of different kinds of enemies that there are in the game, which I'll also give praise to that, there is quite a variety.
Hmm.
Um it doesn't ever feel like you're getting in over your head with any enemy type.
Right. Yeah. It seems like there's a way to either escape or you know dodge and defeat them.
Yeah, like I remember when we first started playing, you and I played together in the beginning and it turned nighttime, which
Is
like
dangerous.
we're used. What's that?
It's dangerous. It's not a good. You don't want to go out at night.
Not in the beginning, not even a little bit. But
Right.
yeah, but like I remember the reaction that we had when we saw those like ghouls coming out of the ground and shit like that, and we're like, oh, like that's cool, like with the amount of survival games that you and I play with day and night
Oh
cycles,
yeah.
and enemies obviously get harder at night. It's like that was more the same, but it was done in a refreshing manner. I liked the
Yeah.
different enemy types. I thought it was inventive. I thought it was good.
The time progression, I definitely enjoyed the fact that it wasn't just a constant bright light in the background. It actually had some kind of transition from,
Yeah.
it wasn't, you didn't just feel like you were standing still for hours doing nothing. It actually had a kind of a cycle to it, which was, it was great. Not a lot of games
Yeah,
have
and
that, which is weird.
yeah, it doesn't just go from like day to night either. It has like a twilight and a dusk and a dawn. Like it is
Hmm.
nice. I like that.
Yep.
Um, oh shit, what was I just gonna say?
The art style is, it's not too bad either. It's
I
it's
do enjoy that a lot.
semi-animated almost. It seems more like comic-y, like a comic book kind of
Yeah,
art style, which is
yeah,
cool.
like it's not full cell shaded graphics, but it's very bright when it needs to be.
Yeah,
Like the saturation is up. Like it's
well
nice.
contrasted.
Yeah. The art design and even it's like if you look up any of the still images or cover art for this game, it's very nice. Like it looks enticing. Like I would want to play it if I just saw the cover art.
Oh,
It looks
absolutely.
fun.
I mean, that's one of the things that probably drew us into it. First, you see the image, and then you see the price, and you're like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. And I mean like I said this in my dislikes. I actually wrote that the game should have just been a $20 indie title, which like I said, I only had heard before this that it released for $50. I don't know, but I looked online and it says that it was always $20. For $20, it's a good game. Like I would pay full price for this game at $20.
Hmm.
But if you can get it on sale
Oh,
for $10 or less,
even better.
definitely do it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is a great time. It's a great way to kill a weekend.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, the developer is it? I believe it's also the developer for Oh, I'm sorry, the publisher, not developer. The developer is Norsefell, because they do
oh, I'm not
like
familiar.
they do those esque ARPG. It's almost like they do mobile game type games, but on PC. Um,
Oh, really?
but Gearbox Publishing helped publish this, and I believe they did Subnautica. They helped publish Subnautica, and so they realize what this game's potential was as a
Okay.
live service. I'm sure. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I was glad to see their name behind it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Subnautica gameplay a lot. I watched a lot of playthroughs of that. I wish I could play it, but it's definitely better, you know, with
Oh,
more
it gets
people.
my anxiety peaked.
Yeah, it's definitely better with more people. That's for sure.
Yeah. And, it's funny, like as we're recording this episode, I see I'm looking at their store page on Steam and it's saying anniversary event live now. And it's like what content are they still updating this game? Like, I don't
um,
know.
it's possible. I mean, I saw earlier. I was looking at their homepage to see if they had any updates of recent, and it doesn't look like it. I mean, I think their last big like season or saga, I guess they call them, was the Witch Saga. They introduced a lot of things with that: construction improvements, customizations, the crossplay, new biomes
The
and enemies.
crossplay crossplay is a nice touch. And I will say this, to continue with the likes for this game, like the biomes I thought was a nice touch, and especially when you have to go, hunting for materials and stuff like that. You kind of, like as you explore, what biomes you need to, teleport to right away to get shit.
Hmm.
The one, the one material that pissed me off, and I know it was pissing off Duncan the other day, was the vines.
Oh my, yeah.
Why would anybody think that you have to go to the desert to get vines?
It it shouldn't be like that.
No. You should go there to get rocks, sand if you need to, and bones. Like that makes sense.
Hmm.
Vines should be like in the swamp or some shit.
Maybe a cactus.
Yeah, yeah. Like why would you go to the desert to get vines? That doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, let me go to the place where it's beating sun and there's no vegetation to get vegetation.
If it was
Perfect.
near an oasis in the desert, that'd be one thing. But it's just randomly strewn about because that's how all the materials are. They're just spread
Yeah.
out.
You just find something that's near the edge of a cliff and you pick it up and you're good to go. It's just I don't know. Like it didn't make much sense. I kind of know. It's parts of this game I was like, I know I'm playing a game, but I don't know.
You know, I
The
I liked the fishing spots that were in the middle of the ocean. I appreciated that a lot.
I don't know if I did any fishing.
I did minimal fishing, but we did need fish at a point, and I had to go sailing around the continent for it because we couldn't find any more fishing spots. And I didn't know that that they would spawn either in the sea or in the rivers. So
Oh,
I just kept going around in the sea, and I found a couple fishing spots.
huh.
And so it's kind of cool. You could travel from one boss to another and happen to find a
That's
fishing
pretty cool.
spot, get some salmon, and then you get with the salmon you can make the heat protection food or the cold protection food. Help you out with the bosses and getting to them.
Which that, early game that is definitely a perk. Like until you get the
It's like a necessity, really. Yeah, you need it.
it really is, yeah. Like until you get the armors and stuff that you can have on to negate those effects, like you definitely need.
Oh, so there's armors that I know there's I know there's runes that helped with it. There's a few runes that help with the cold damage, but I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know
no,
about the
there's
armor.
there's
Oh,
armors that you can build and craft and unlock later on that help to negate like cold and heat and whatever.
yeah, I guess I didn't upgrade my armors far enough, or maybe it was just a different set.
I don't know. It's funny, like as we're talking, I'm looking at I keep looking at the store page and I'm seeing like their cutscenes and the videos they have and pictures and whatever. And I'm noticing all of these amazing structures that, I guess the developers built using the building mechanics to show off the game. And yeah, they're fantastic. It looks awesome. The building mechanic looks great. Why the fuck would I do that?
Right. It leaves you to wonder what is the point of the building, and I think it's
Yeah.
just kind of they just threw it in there, just for like you said to get more of an audience.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum. Like, some people love to play games just for the uh, building aspect of it. Like, I know when we play like Icarus and stuff like that, you and Carter usually just leave it up to me to build a house. But
We like hunting.
yeah, and it's like I understand that a lot of the times people like, I love The Sims. That's all about building houses and stuff. But this game just, I don't know. As
It's not a
I don't know.
building
It
game. It doesn't
no,
it shouldn't have building necessarily, but
No, not at all. It's just the building comes in handy when you have to climb up a cliff. That's it. That's all I used it for.
yeah. I'm kind of surprised that they don't, make it a little more not a building. I don't know. Their system for building was a little weird. Um, just like as it was in it.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of the stuff that you like the runes, there was runes, um, the little it's like little three little aquamarine colored squares on the map. I think they're
Okay.
called runes, and you go to them. Sometimes there's a troll hanging outside, but it's pretty much like a treasure spot. And some of them are just on top of big plateaus that you have to get up using stairs. There's no other way to get up there. But you
Yeah.
don't know that. You just see it up there and wonder, how do I get up there? You
Yeah.
know?
And you know, it's
Definitely
funny. Like
confusing,
another
for
thing.
sure.
What's up?
It was definitely a confusing point. Once I saw, I was like, how the hell do I get up there? Like the hell?
Yeah. I was like, I'm. I noticed in these videos that people are also using the mounts. Dude, did you ever use the mount?
Yes, I did.
You you did?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. As soon
Oh
as I
man,
hit
I
that
like
level,
that.
I mean, I forgot about it 90% of the time. But when I remembered, I was like, oh, so yes, I'm not running anymore.
I don't know. For me, it was kind of like, all right, you kind of run at the same speed, and it takes away your ability to fight shit. So
You can kind of run past stuff though, a little easier, dodge attacks and stuff.
yeah,
It was a good
yeah,
travel method for if you forgot to set down a teleport and you needed to get back to your body.
yeah.
You know,
Um,
ease of
and
access.
it adds another level of personability, like customization, like because you can unlock different mounts and stuff. But here it goes. It also adds another thing that they can charge you for.
Ooh, yep. hmm
It's
It's
that's
unavoidable
my
at this point.
It's that's my biggest problem with it because like they're advertising in the videos and shit on their store page. Oh yeah, you can have pets. Why? You can have mounts. Why? You can have building materials. Why? You can have all of these different things. Why? I want more weapons. I want cooler armor. It's like I want stuff that's actually going to benefit my gameplay. I don't care about riding a fucking chicken.
Yeah, well, you can ride a chicken.
You can ride a giant chicken.
Well, some people have different viewpoints.
That
I would like to ride a chicken, I think. Although,
I
depending on the price.
it's and you know for the price like many live service games they encourage you to they give you these challenges daily and weekly and monthly challenges that you can unlock these golden horns but they don't give you enough because they charge for like one fucking mount. It's like 50 golden horns.
Oh my god, that's like killing the boss 30 times, like the big boss.
Yeah, and it takes like a long time for the big boss to respawn.
And to kill him. And to get the necessary supplies to fight him.
Yeah, but you know what it doesn't take a long time for? Entering a credit card number.
Beep, beep, boop. I would like to buy 10,000 golden horns.
Yes, I like the one that goes beep boop boop beep. Uh but yeah, so that's I mean, I keep going back to the dislikes, but there are things I actually like about this game.
I mean,
Uh
it was a 16-hour gameplay for a reason, you know?
yeah.
As little as it did have, it keeps you stuck into it because it is kind of lighthearted and it's cool and it's fun. Um,
Yeah.
it's easy.
It's a fun addictive gameplay loop that it's easy to play if you want to like watch some TV or listen to a podcast like the Bards of Gaming podcast and
Auto subscribe.
um like and subscribe. But no, I mean it's a fun, easy game to get into, and I will say this to cut back to likes. One thing that I thought was really cool about the early gameplay, especially, is how the area in which you start acts as a safe haven. Like
Yes.
you don't have to build a house, and
Nope.
this is a big part of the reason why I didn't
And you can't
because
build a lot around that. You have to go away from that to build most of your stuff.
yeah, like I kind of just set all my shit down like right outside the main circle, and then just kind of lived there. Like,
Yeah, it's like they encourage it, so it's another reason why I should never ever just brought building into it. They
yeah,
should just let you live in that little environment right there.
they literally give you like the main quest area with like your main quest giver lady, and then they like 10 feet away from it, they give you like your Nexus hub portal that you can go to any of your fast travel locations with. Why would I go anywhere outside of that?
Yep. Oh, you know what I figured out too? On the subject of the heating and the cooling foods, the ones that keep you cool in the desert biome and then hot, warm in the winter biome. The teleporters are neutral grounds. So if you put a teleporter down in that ice biome or the heat or the desert biome, you don't need any food. You just stand within the range of that, and then you're perfect.
It'll revive you, or Yeah, it'll like replenish you. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll keep you perfect temperature. It's so funny, and it's also lights up the dark.
that's true.
I just figured that out recently.
um, trying to see. I will say another thing that I like about this game is that uh, we talked and I kind of shit on the fact that there's like not a lot of replayability. And I mean, once you see the end of this game, at least for me, there is no real replayability. But I will say that the randomly generated map does make for some replayability, especially if you're going to play with friends.
Yeah, absolutely. It's similar to the Valheim kind of randomly generated maps, I think,
Yeah.
in the sense
Like
that
if
it
I,
has a main continent, and you can branch off and go into the water through to more continents.
yeah. I think that it adds a little bit more fun because it's like if I've played through the game already and then you just got the game and you were like, hey, make a new character and play with me, I'd say, okay. And at least I would know that like going into the map, I don't know where everything is
Yeah,
already.
yeah. And
So,
a few games of recent have been a pre-made map, and a lot of games are like that too. But a pre-made map for a survival-based game, it just doesn't work out um, at all for replayability. Realistically, I mean,
yeah.
you're limiting yourself to something that's people don't want to watch a show more than once or a movie more than once. So why would you limit the map? You know, unless you're following a strict storyline. I don't know. I
Yeah.
never got that part.
I think that's one of the main downsides of Icarus, but we'll cover that when we get there. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I love that game, but yeah, it would be nice if the map changed a little
It
bit.
takes its toll, you know.
Yeah. But do you have anything else you want to touch on with your likes for this game?
I enjoyed the special attacks of the melee weapons.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of wish they were separate from the melee weapons themselves. That way you can choose kind of maybe if they had a skill tree with all of those skills in it, and you can choose your path a little bit. Because I do like more of the build based ARPGs,
Yeah.
but I did like the variety of those weapon skills that they did have.
Yeah. I thought that, especially like because like we said earlier, it's like once you pick your weapon path, you kind of just stick with it.
Yeah,
At least, I did. And I think you did, and Carter did, and
I
Duncan
mean,
did. But
it only it costs too much resource to have to grind for a whole nother weapon tree.
yeah, because when you start your weapon lineage, I guess you should say, like
Yeah, yeah,
uh you start by making a base weapon. And there's like three different swords or four different swords. We'll just go with swords. Like there's like three or four different swords, and there's like a fire, a void, a lightning sword. And if you want to make the lightning sword, you make the lightning sword. And then if you want to make the lightning sword level 2, you now have to sacrifice lightning sword level 1 to make lightning sword level 2. So yeah,
yeah.
it's and lightning sword level 4, you have now sacrificed all subsequent or preceding lightning swords, but it's like if you want to start a new weapon chain like you're saying, like yeah, you have to start
You gotta
from the
start from the
beginning. It's
beginning. Yeah,
it's frustrating.
a load of materials, like especially I think it's every upgrade after the first one, you need some kind of boss piece or not a boss piece.
You're fading out.
One of the bigger monsters. You need to drop from one of those to upgrade at each level,
Yeah.
and it's a
Which
pain to find those, honestly.
it is. And that's kind of like I did write in my likes that I like that the bosses do respawn. It's just I don't know why.
Yeah,
Like
it's an RPG.
why
I mean,
yeah. It's
it's nice that they respawn because you could farm them for XP if you didn't want to kill all the little stuff in adventure for that. But it is kind of silly in a
yeah.
sense.
It adds replayability. It's I don't know. I understand why. It's just I'll say the rest of my
It
thoughts
depends on
in
the
the closing
customer,
notes.
realistically. The
Yeah.
player,
It's I
some
mean,
people have different tastes for their story based or run and gun based.
yeah. And I'm sure that there's people out there who have 500 hours sunk into this game, which good for them. But
Touch grass. Always go outside, breathe fresh air.
um, but I did also write in my like section that I do like that there are uh, cool and somewhat cinematic boss fights because they are fun. They are neat. They're inventive. Like the first time you see them, you're kind of like, wow, like they are pretty
Scary.
captivating.
A
It
little scary.
is. It is. But they are really cool, I think.
I enjoyed
Um,
that. I enjoyed the boss fights.
yeah, and they only get cooler as it goes on. I mean,
It brings your team
the
together if you don't have much food, especially.
yeah,
You really got
and
to
that
rely on those heals of the skill tree that you got.
for sure. And this game it really does hit its stride in multiplayer. It is best as multiplayer, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whether it be two or four. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do up to 10.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was actually max of 8, but 10 is that's crazy. I couldn't imagine 10 people on a map. That'd be insane.
No. You'd beat the game so fast.
You wouldn't be able to see where your character is.
Yeah, no, but it is fun. And I mean like that's pretty much all that I have written down in my notes about the game. So I mean, open discussion now. What else you got?
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I put 16 hours and only 16 hours into it because I gave
Yeah.
it my love and it deserved it, but that's all it gets.
Yeah. It was fun while it lasted. It's not getting more from me.
No.
Um
It's a good $6 game.
yeah. Yeah. I would happily pay 10. I wouldn't be disappointed if I paid 20,
Yep.
but I would not pay $60 for this game. There's no fucking way.
Oh no. No. That'd be outrageous for an indie game, really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, it's I guess in conclusion for me like I'll just reiterate what I've said before, like it is a fun game, but there's so much content that they should have cut out. Like this game a lot of the time doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to be.
Mhm.
But there's also some really great features of this game that they should have expanded upon.
Give it a rating of what your opinion on this game is for
You go
gameplay
first.
ability.
Oh, for gameplay ability?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like
Based on the 16-hour gameplay, what would you rate it?
oh, you go first.
I'd give it a good 7, maybe 7.3.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right. I was
For an ARPG.
yeah, I was going to
There's
be a
not
little bit
many
more
of them out
critical on it. Now, there's not a lot of them out there. And I mean this one was fun. There's definitely ones that have been done better, but I
Absolutely.
think
Okay.
I think I'm going to give it like a 6.5.
Reasonable. Yeah.
Cuz
Quite a
it's
few
just like
gripes about it.
what's that?
Quite a few gripes about it, that's for sure.
There are quite a few gripes about it. And I could have been worse
It
with
deserves it. It deserves the 6.5.
yeah, and I mean, I could have given it worse. I thought about giving it worse, but in the end, I did have fun with it.
Mhm.
I did have a really good time with it. I just there's no reason for me to go back.
Yep. Now we played our part. That was the story. That's the role playing game world, baby.
Yeah, and like this game is one of those ones where like when I started out playing it, it started out so strong. I was like, "Damn, this game's sick!" Like I remember the first time you and I played it, and we were like, "Damn, this is awesome!" Like I would have totally paid $20 for this, and
It
then
was unexpected of a $6 sale. Yeah.
yeah, and as the game went on though, especially as I got more towards the end, it just tapered off
Oh yeah.
and it kind of just fizzled out. Like by the time I hit the last, cinematic piece in the last boss, I was like, all right, like glad I'm done. And then it
Get it
kind
over with.
of
It
yeah, and the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger like that, saying like we'll be back or whatever, I'm like, please don't. Just
was almost like a little smack in the face.
yeah, like don't come if this game does come back, I want it to come back as a sequel.
Oh, not the same game with added content, you mean?
Exactly. I don't
Yeah.
want a seasonal edition. I don't want,
No.
you know, more content of the same. I would like them to, because I mean, for anybody who I'm gonna spoil it right now, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. So like, if you actually do want to play the end of this game, skip the next like 30 seconds. But the way that this game ends is you have to go through this portal or whatever and rescue Loki, or you rescue your friend or whatever who's been fucking chained up. But when you rescue him, it turns out that it was Loki in disguise, and you've just freed Loki. So
Out of mischief. Oh my.
exactly, yeah. So now he goes to like the god's realm or whatever and fucking steals their treasure, and then he goes to like escape. And the game basically ends by Loki opening up a portal to Olympus, so like, the Greek pantheon. And it's
Oh.
like that's kind of where the game is heading next, which cool. Like if they decide to come out with a sequel that goes to the Greek pantheon and has the same kind of gameplay and whatever, but better, I'll be excited for that. But if they come out with another season that is an expansion of this game, I'm gonna be sorely disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
If
and
they
that's my
add
take.
different camera options.
If they fucking
Back
add a
to
lot.
camera options. Very important thing in a game. No, but not a lot of
Yeah,
people realize how much of an impact that'll have on your gameplay.
absolutely. I mean, it is one of the most important. It is like the
Yeah.
basic thing that you need
It's a
because
structural element of a
it
game.
is. It's what the player sees.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your point of view. It's your eyes.
Yeah. Like that's why it's dude, like that's my primary reason of thinking why the N64 has just aged like milk. I mean, the camera controls in every fucking game back then were so bad.
Oh, don't 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 bring me back there. Not
Don't
not Mario 64. No. Oh god.
don't bring me back to anything before twin stick controls. And
Wednesday.
dude, I,
N64 pretty much had twin stick kind of. It had the yellow buttons and the C
get
button.
out. Get out. No, it did not.
The N64?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had all right, so it had a couple different ways that people held it, but pretty much most people held it with their main hand in the middle on the analog stick to move around, and then the right hand would be on the four yellow C keys, which is above A and B. And those were usually what you turn your camera with in half the games, honestly.
In some games, but I'm also thinking back to like Banjo and GoldenEye and all these other games where you would have to press the Z button and then look
Oh,
around in first person view to change your camera angle or look around. That's more what I
GoldenEye was a
think.
little nuts with that. That was wild.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what we can discuss more games off air. I should just start streaming like just open game discussions. But
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be fun.
that'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm about wrapped up.
Me too.
Any last words? Any last words?
Uh, if Tribes of Midgard is on sale, get it. If it's not, maybe get it anyway. It's all
It's
right.
a
It's pretty good.
it's a good way to spend a weekend with some friends.
It's not bad.
But
I
do you
like
have
it.
anywhere? Do you have anything you want to shout out? Anywhere that people can find you? Do you Twitch stream much? Anything like that?
I don't do much nothing. Nope. I play a lot of video games. You'll probably see me around the Robert community. So if you tune into Robert, you'll see me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we do play a lot together, especially in Shrouded, which I want to get back to with you. But all right, anybody who hung out and listened to this episode and our senseless ramblings, I very much appreciate you listening. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a rating, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, as always. And thanks again for hanging out. So this has been me and my buddy Ben, and we will catch you next time.
See you
So,
later.
oh, and I guess before I sign off, I'm just gonna throw out here now, like I do in the intro, and I totally forgot to do last episode. If you would like to hear more and you would like to chat with me or whatever, you can find me on Instagram at the Bards of Gaming or Twitter or X at 2 Bards of Gaming with the number 2. You can also find links to all my socials as well as my email if you'd like to shoot me a message at thebardsofgamingpodcast.com, where there's also links to any merch and things like that that are fun. So thanks again. See ya.